All right, we back. And listen, I had a thought on the way over here to the second destination. I want to just speak to you wholesalers specifically out there. And if you're a wholesaler, you're thinking about getting into wholesaling, or you're already wholesaling, I need you to listen to this seriously. You know, we're all busy out here, man, and especially us guys who own businesses. We're out here trying to make things happen. We have to, keep our finger on the pulse of our day-to-day business. But you wholesalers out here, man, or maybe if you're calling yourself a wholesaler, and haven't really taken time to study your craft, I'm talking to you, man. Listen, there's nothing worse than to get a call from a wholesaler, and I do some wholesaling as well, who has not taken time, to at least learn their business. It's not hard, man. The information's out here. But when you call a busy person, an investor out here who doesn't mind buying properties, but you call them and you're misinformed, or you're giving them numbers that don't work out, or you're calling them with on-market properties that are listed on the MLS, all they hear is you are a misinformed person wasting their time. Listen, I'm going to put a series out for you wholesalers. I shouldn't even have to. There's so much good information out there. But for those of you that don't know what wholesaling is simply where you go out and you get equitable interest in the property by putting the property under contract at a certain price. You then assign that contract to an end buyer, and you're compensated for the difference in between the two. So for instance, if I get a property under contract for $100,000 and I have an end buyer that says that, hey, look, I'm interested in that property. The ARV on that property, which means after repair value of that property, is about 230. I'm just using these numbers arbitrarily. 230, 240,000. I know I can put 40,000 in that house and get and above a 30% ROI. I'm interested, and I'm willing to pay you $10,000, $15,000 for the right to take your place on that offer to purchase. All right, so that's an assignment of contract. That's what wholesalers do in a nutshell. But it's important in the front of all of that for you, A, to understand the market, B, to understand your numbers. All right, so there's a way that you can go about doing that, because many people are intimidated by the process of going out to look at a property and assessing how much work that property needs. So, I've got an easy way you can do that. If you're intimidated by going in, measuring square footage or, material cost, blah, 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 there's a very easy way for you to do that. And right off the top of my head, one way you can do it is you can go on like Redfin, pull up Realtor.com, pull up Zillow, and put that address in 3 or 4 different listing places. Come up with a medium price, something that's an average between the 3 or 4 of those, and then subtract a square footage amount of repairs. So for instance, if I'm in 1,000 square foot house and I rate that house from move-in ready to a light rehab to a complete beater, then I'll know, okay, well, I need to use, and I'm just using these numbers arbitrarily, so don't use these numbers. On a move-in ready, let's say I'll still say, well, it's still gonna need $5,000 worth of paint and carpet in it, maybe. Something that might be a light rehab, I might say, well, okay, I need to at least factor in $10 a square foot on that property, because it's a light rehab. Or a total beater, it might be $15 to $20 per square foot. And then I take the total square footage and say, okay, on 1,000 square foot house times $20 per square foot, it's gonna cost me about $20,000 to do a rehab in here on this 1,000 square foot house. Okay, now with that, and I know I get it up under contract for $100,000, and I know my end buyer is gonna have to do $20,000 worth of rehab, and I know they want a 30% ROI, meaning a return on their investment. So if they spend between giving me $10,000 on the assignment fee and paying $100,000 for the house, and then another $20,000 for rehab, that's about $130,000. Now, that needs to be at least 70% of what they're going to make after they fix up and sell that house, okay? So that's an easy way to do your numbers. It's not an intimidating process, but it's something you need to take time to learn how to do quickly and efficiently, so that when you pick up a phone, you're not wasting people's time. And I'll tell you real quick, man, before we do this walk around, I've had people call me, oh, just the other day, hey, yeah, I found this house. Here's the address. Oh, do you have it under contract, Mr. Wholesaler? No, I don't. But if you get it under contract, you can just pay me $5,000 for finding it. Listen, guys, the addresses that you have, we all have them. Us investors, especially those of us that know how to wholesale, we spend an exorbitant amount of money on lists that you don't even see. That doesn't mean that they turn into deals, and we're not going to pay you, just because you sent us an address. So educate yourself a little bit on this, man. Don't pick up a phone and sound misinformed, because people are going to stop taking your calls. My buyers, when I pick up a phone and I call them, they answer it. Not saying that they buy all my deals that I send them, but they answer it because they know, look, I've given them some great deals, some six-figure profit deals, in fact. I can't stress enough for you to be a professional when you're calling professionals. All right, let's do this walk around.